My dear friends, welcome back to B Spice. In this session, as I committed yesterday, we'll focus on remote terminal unit RTU working principle and specifications. So just focus on this diagram wherein you can see here the main RTU wherein you have the power supply, central processing unit, and you have this memory, volatile memory and non-volatile memory. Then we have this IO module, analog, output, input, digital input, output, all these. Okay. So this is what we are going to talk actually. And of course, the communication, RS-232, RS-485, and many more, many more. Very interesting, talks is going to be there. And this is your what do you call this is a typical RTO module basically, the look and feel. Yeah. So let's get on with the detailed intro. Remote terminal unit RTU, we call it as, is a microprocessor control device used in industrial automation and control system. Okay, particularly integrated with SCADA system, right? So RTU is a modular control device typically installed in a remote location. That is a point. As part of large system used to monitor and control field devices such as valves, actuators, sensors, etc. RTUs are essential components of SCADA system. This is a point. Establishing interface between SCADA control and physical process, which we are going to dive deep on this integration aspects also. And RTU consists of hardware panel where one or more input-output modules are installed. That is also we are going to focus. And most important components of RTU, CPU, power supply, communication port, physical IO mode. All these items you are going to dive deeper. Okay, that's it. Intro. Now we go into the working principle. See what actually it does, friends. Data acquisition. Okay, so RTUs collect data from various sensors and field devices such as temperature, pressure, all these flow meters, etc. So it acquires the data, collects the data, then processing. So the collected data are processed by RTU, Central Processing Unit, CPU. So of course, filtering, scaling, converting the data into a format for transmission, all happening here in the data processing. Then comes the communication. RTU transmit the process data to a central SCADA system or master station using communication protocol like RS-232, RS-485, or Ethernet, TCP, IP, and many more. I'm going to talk that in detail also, okay, in the next subsequent slides. Also, it receives commands from the SCADA system to control the field devices. And when we talk about the control function, RTU can execute control commands such as, it can also give command for opening or closing the valves, opening or closing, I think typo error, and stopping the motors and adjusting the set point based on instruction received from SCADA system. So these are the working principles. So when you talk about the RTU's working principle, just focus on this item: acquisition, processing, communication, and control, friends. As simple as that, right? Okay. Now we go into the components and with the specifications. Okay. Before, when we select, we should also know what is the, components involved and what is the specification, all these. The one is the CPU. So typically at 32-bit microprocessors, sometimes with the dual CPUs for redundancy, right? So CPU may consist of one or more complex circuit cards that execute central function processing. So modern RTU use 32-bit processors, processor. Yeah. CPU make use of watchdog timer. This is also there to validate that the cycle execution is done correctly. Okay. And CPU module also equipped with Ethernet communication port. Some RTU come with dual CPU, in which case they are configured as a primary and backup, providing the redundancy to the device. This is based on your need. Many RTUs can be programmed using languages and syntax similar to PLC, such as ladder logic, structure, text, etc. Others might require more complex code using C++ and other language actually. Okay, some RTUs use simple applications can be programmed using web interface. So these are the aspects about the CPU. Now we'll talk about the power supply. Normally RTUs are normally supplied with continuous power from the main line, direct DC power supplying, delivering 24-volt DC power. AC power supply with converter 100 volt to 230. I think it's sorry, typo error. 230 volt AC to DC power for RTU operation. However, the remote location where RTU may be installed are also typically provisioned with battery backup module. So that is the point. Okay. The most common type of battery is lead acid, although lithium batteries have been gaining popularity of more recently. Right. So remote locations operate with solar panels linked to an accumulator, like battery storage system, because standard power access is hard to obtain. So these are the power supply aspects, friends. Okay. Now we go into the communication port, which is very important actually. Every RTU needs a way to communicate to the outside to the client or master SCADA system. To achieve this, they are equipped with at least one communication port. RTU support many communication protocol, Ethernet, RS-232, Modbus, etc. Okay. Now we go into the specifics, friends. Okay. So basically this guy DNP3, so distributed network protocol. This is used for power, utilities and water system. Okay. So basically this DNP3 is a set of communication protocol used primarily in process automation system, especially within electrical and water utilities basically, friends. Okay. So yes, it provides a reliable and efficient communication between various components in SCADA system. Right. So that's actually feature about this DNP3. Then we have IEC 60870 Part 5104. This is used exclusively for electrical grid automation. Okay. Then we have a MQTT and OPC UA. It's used for modern IoT and cloud-based communication protocol. Just remember. And what you may ask, what is this MQTT? MQTT, right? So basically, this is designed for remote devices with a minimal network bandwidth and resource constraints. Basically, this is used for remote devices with minimal network bandwidth. Okay. So that is this. And what else actually? Yeah, I think that's good. Good to go. Then we have Ethernet TCP and serial RS-232 485 for local wired communication. Okay, right. So if it is local wire, we can use this. So if it is remote and long distance, we use radio, VHF, UHF, GSM, LTE, satellite, all these. So what is VHF? Is basically it refers to the very high frequency. Okay, between 30 megahertz to 300 megahertz with corresponding wavelength from 10 meters to 1 meter. Okay, so that is the application. Okay. Then when we talk about the UHF, it is basically ultra high frequency, range of frequency from 300 megahertz to 3 gigahertz, with a corresponding wavelength from 1 meter to 10 centimeter. So that is the UHF actually. And we have a GSM, right? So GSM, as you know, it's a global system for mobile communication. It's a standard developed to describe protocol for second generation digital cellular network, 2G actually, right? 2G network. And we have also LTE. Basically, LTE is nothing but long-term evolution. It's a standard for wireless broadband communication, primarily used for mobile devices and data terminals. Okay, and yeah, that is about the LTE. Okay, right. So then we have some of the most common topologies supported in RTU and SCADA networks are ring, series, and star topologies. Okay, this is about the communication port, very important actually. And we have this physical I/O. RTU support the four most common I/O module, as you know, digital input, digital output, analog input, and analog output. Digital input module captures status and alarm signal coming from field devices. Digital output is necessary to send signals and commands to the field devices. Analog input and output works with variable current or voltage, normally in the range of 0 to 1 milliamps or 0 to 10 volt range respectively. Okay, that is about the physical I/O. So now we are done with the components. Okay, now we'll see the integration with SCADA. Friends, integration of SCADA, again typo error, sorry for that. Integration of RTU with SCADA ensures efficient and reliable monitoring of the industrial process making RTUs an essential component of SCADA system. It is basically hand in hand. RTU means you should have a, SCADA, right? So that is about the integration. Okay, so how this integration works? Data collection, right? RTU gather data from various devices such as sensors, actuators, and flow meters. Then we process. RTU process the collected data, which may involve filtering, scaling, converting into a format suitable for transmission. Then comes the communication. This is where it talks both SCADA and RTU. RTU communicate with SCADA master station using various communication protocol as we discussed in the previous slide, such as RS-232, RS-485 Ethernet or wireless, which allows the RTU to send real-time data to SCADA and receive control commands. Okay. Now, control commands basically. See, control system, basically the SCADA system sends commands to RTU, which then execute these commands to control the field device. So opening or closing valves or starting or stopping motors and adjusting set points, all these. Then additionally, monitoring and reporting. SCADA system continuously monitors the data from RTU and provides real-time visualization, alarms, and reports to the operators. So basically, this helps in making informed decision, ensuring the efficient operation of the system, right? So this all the integration, how the SCADA is integrated with so how the RTU is integrated with SCADA. Now, what is the benefit of RTU integration with SCADA? Of course, real-time monitoring. It provides up-to-date information on system performance and status. Then remote control. It allows operators to control field devices from central control station. Then the data logging. It shows historical data for analysis and reporting. Then alarm management. It alerts the operator to any abnormal conditions or fault. So that's all I have for this RTU specifications, friends, working principle and specifications. There are many more going to come. Of course, again, it depends on your support. Unfortunately, last video which I uploaded on RTU doesn't, didn't go well actually. I don't know the reason, but I hope this time you will support this. Okay. And many more are going to come, types of RTU and wireless applications. All these I'm going to, target, friends. Okay. Thank you for watching. And again, request all of you to show your support for BSpice growth, friends. Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye.